Wendell, what was the focus of practice today as you guys try to get back on track tomorrow night against the Wizards?
Watched a lot of film, which I think was good. Bodies are banged up, so not too much running around. Just going over, what essentially we could have done better to win the game last night. I think, for the most part, our process was pretty good. We had our moments where we weren't doing what we intended to do throughout the game, especially offensively. But we got great looks. Just didn't make them, and that's kind of the nature of the NBA. It's a make or miss league, and we got a lot of good open looks, especially in the fourth, and we just weren't making it, which is fine.
Mose just said last night that Detroit didn't really make much schematic adjustments. They just played with more effort, played harder. Was that something you sensed on the court last night? And what do you think the difference was in the second half between the first half?
I wouldn't necessarily say that they were playing harder than us. I think they changed a couple of things systematically. They started going 15 at one point, but it didn't last long. So, it was something that it was definitely an adjustment from their aspect. But at the end of the day, that can never be a topic. That anyone can say that another team is playing harder than us, no matter what I say. So I think, for the outside looking in, whatever everyone else is thinking, what they think they saw, we can't allow that to even be a thing. We can't allow, to give up, as many offensive rebounds that we did. We can't turn the ball over as much as we did. And I think the game would be a lot different if we did do those two things.
With the turnovers and the rebounding, like you mentioned, you guys are statistically one of the better teams at not turning the ball over, of getting defensive rebounds. But there seems to be these games here and there where that problem creeps up. How do you go about just not letting that creep in and affecting how you guys play?
Not letting it happen no more. It happened last game. I think we just got to do a better job of, especially with longer shots. I understand it's going to be longer rebounds from all five on the court, checking and hitting our men. Even when we're tired, just doing all the little things to make sure we secure rebounds. I don't think it's something that we have to worry about creeping in and being something that will derail this season. But then turnover-wise, we just got to be more crisp. Understanding what we're doing on the offensive end and not allowing the intensity or the physicality to throw us off.
You mentioned that you generally like the process of what you guys are doing defensively. You guys had one of the better defensive games you've had all season, holding that Detroit team to 106 points. Where do you feel like the defense is at? Does it feel like it's starting to kind of find its groove and pick up some steam?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think just coming out of All-Star break, we've been doing a fantastic job on the defensive end, holding a lot of these high-scoring teams below their averages. That's the Orlando Magic I know, and I'm glad that we're kind of accepting that identity, even from D-Bane and Jay Suggs to me and P, like taking those challenges head on. Like I said before, that makes this team so much better. When we control what we control, and then the defensive end is one of the bigger controllables. That when you win that side of the ball, you give yourself a good chance to win the game.
Houston and Detroit are obviously great teams, but you guys take a lot of pride in protecting the home court. How important are these next two games here to get back on track?
Super important. Now we're at 22 games left in the season. It's dwindling down. It's coming down to, probably the end of the season is going to come down to a couple games, and these are the games we can't lose. We got to go in there with a sense of urgency, understand that we got to get back on the right track on both ends of the court. Get back on the same page offensively and defensively, just continue to do what we've been doing and clean up the glass. So I think it's very important for us to win these next two, but definitely want to take it one game at a time. So taking care of Washington's first goal for sure.
You guys obviously have dealt with guys coming in and out of the lineup. Now Jalen only missed 3 games, but what's the process like of helping him get reintegrated in the lineup, and what can you do to help him kind of get comfortable?
Jay Suggs? Oh yeah. Jay's one of those guys. Like as you see now, he's out here working. Like he wants to help this team win, no matter what it is, defensively, offensively, knocking down shots. He's one of those guys that I've grown close to over these years, and I've gotten to know him a lot more and just know what kind of person he is. Like he just wants to win. That's his main thing. So, him getting back into the lineup isn't going to be tough. I would say that's really for anybody on this team. Like all these guys want to win, from the number 1 guy to the 15th guy. So, it makes it easy, and that's why, from years in the past when guys went in and out of the lineup, we were still finding ways to win games. So I don't think it'll be too much of an adjustment.
You talked about process versus results. When you get down into these final 20 or so games, is it kind of switch where the results start to become a little bit more important?
For sure. As much as we like to say process over results, the results speak for themselves. Like you want to have more wins than losses. You want to make more shots than miss them. So it's kind of a twofold kind of thing. You want to keep living with the process for sure, but at the end of the day, if it's not getting you the results, then things definitely have to change so you get the results that you want. So it's kind of a two-part fold, but at the same time, you still want to play the game with ethics and play it the correct way.